Okay, so I decided to tear the steering wheel off this thing, hoping it would be only a few minute job. Anyway, it wasn't. First thing I did was tried to remove the locking bolt, and yeah, you can see it shattered. And of course it was rusted on because it filled up with water all the time. Anyway, and it broke off pretty flush, but I got some cleaning to do on there. You can see it still has the pin on the side. I ended up having to cut it off in 3 pieces. Well, 2 pieces. Once here, once there, and then I still couldn't get it off, so I had to cut that. And I gave it a shit kicking with the air hammer. The reason why tape's on there is the spring sucks. And of course, when I'm working beside a TV, you can see my reflection. I don't want a chance to, chisel tip going flying into the TV. So anyway, gave that a cut, and yes, I tried pullers on it, and even my puller would not pull it off. So you can see the big mushroom tip on the puller there. The cap broke off, split, and went flying. But I had these loose like that and bolted all the way around like that. So basically, just over top, like, I'm not sure if you see what I'm doing here, and I had a bolt through each end around the steering wheel. So, and yeah, it did kind of pull it up, kind of flexed it, gave that a try, wouldn't even budge. So, and of course I didn't want to heat it because it has this anti-vibration dampener, or whatever you want to call that sucker right there, so I didn't want to heat it, and because I'd melt this, so I ended up cutting it, and holy crap, it took about 45 minutes to get that freaking steering wheel off there. Anyway, my ugly seat, I went to bought myself a brand new one. Now this is a pretty cool design. So you can see it has some anti-fart holes to let your farts drain, or sweat ass, whatever you want to call it. Lets it drain out pretty nicely, and of course the rain, But anyway, I got this for $35 at Princess Auto, so brand new. You can see 2 mounting bolts here, bolted on, cut them after. I don't like the fact that this overhangs because I can see that sucking up water and, rotting out after an old time. So I'll probably take a knife, I'll probably cut that. And don't know how I'll seal that up. But otherwise I can see it getting rotten pretty quick. I am going to pull off the cover because I kind of want to see what the actual pan looks like without the cover. So for $35 I wasn't going to leave it. I was of course going to buy it, Anyway, that's pretty much what's happening with this. The reason, again, why I pulled off the steering wheel is it was bent, and I find it's too big. So I want to try to get one that's a little bit smaller and maybe a bit taller. Like one that comes maybe up, like something, this one here used to sit pretty much right here. I want to find one that's smaller and sits maybe 1 inch taller, maybe 2 inches taller. Just because it hits my knees, and yeah, I would like to get something a little bit bigger. Anyway, it's just a little bit of an update. I also picked up some white lithium grease, so use that for my quad. That's what I used last time, and believe it or not, it's been holding up pretty good. I also bought this. It's called a chainsaw buddy. So you can see it goes underneath the blade. It kind of clamps on. I actually seen a guy using one of these before, so I thought, hey, it was on sale for $20. I'll give it a try. So if it ends up sucking, maybe I'll chop it up or something. Don't know what I'll do with it. So anyway, it's kind of cool. It's all metal. It's regular $50, on sale for $20. Again, as Princess Auto, I'll probably make a separate video about that when I install it on one of my saws. Just good for cutting, any kind of wood pretty much where you don't want your blade to hit the ground. So also good if you're cutting on top of gravel and stuff like that, or sand for that matter. So. And of course, where I go cutting wood and stuff is in sandy lands, so there's a lot of sand. So, don't know yet if that'll help or not, but it saves having to prop up the wood on anything. So, anyway, just a few new toys that I went to buy. For the steering wheel, I didn't buy one yet, because all they had is the one with the shaft like this. I didn't know if I had that style shaft, so I didn't want to buy it. You can see it's a little bit chewed up, but I'll be able to file that pretty smooth and buy a new steering wheel. Steering wheel I think was like $29, so it wasn't even that bad. So that's just a quick update, and I'll show you once I get the seat installed and how I install it. So sweet. Okay, so got the steering wheel off as I had in my last video. The seat, that's how it's going to be mounted. So you can see where the old one came off. That was my knees that cracked if that showed up. You can kind of see how the seat's going to fit in there. You can see there's a cut. I can adjust the height by using washers on the front versus the back. I might as well throw this in the video. Crappy Tire has these kits on sale for 12 bucks. Regular, I think like 50 bucks. So, very good price. I buy them every time they're on sale. Some 3/4 inch sprocket adapters, I guess you could call them, for welding on sprockets. So basically, you can see those, and I got the factory cutout. The factory seat, where the hell did I even put that now? Oh, on top of my quad bin there. But anyway, I'm going to use some 1x1 box steel to kind of get my height where I want it. Now, this is a very, very weak spring. So, it is going to bottom out. When it bottoms out, this here hits this, and it pushes down onto the gas tank. So I might end up putting some kind of spring in between here. I might try to find something that I could put in between, a heavy duty spring. I was thinking something like valve springs, but they would not be heavy enough to hold my fat ass. That just sit on there, but I don't want to sit no more. Come on, stay on there, you piece of crap. Anyway, it's just lightly staying on, so you'll kind of see the look of it. So it will be tilted back a little bit more, but most likely when I sit on it, I don't know, I'll have to figure out when I'm sitting on it, I might have to mount it up like this, up more, so when I'm sitting on it, it sits flat. So anyway, my idea with these guys here is to push that on. It's a 3/4 inch shaft with the keyway. I'll have to open up this keyway here, or I'll have to cut down that keyway. But it has the locks here. So I decided I don't feel like tapping out that, because that's the old bolt that used to hold the steering wheel on, right here. So I don't feel like tapping that out, so I'll just use one of these. Now the whole point of taking off the steering wheel is so I could take the dash off, so I can fix, like somehow I'm thinking I'll mount a big plate of steel behind here. Something temporary to hold it together, because everything is loose. The key ignition here is all floppy and loose. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to mount one of these on here. I'm going to go this way facing down, like that. And then I'm going to weld another one onto it like this. And I got some 3/4 inch shaft, which will stick out up to here. And that's going to give me a steering wheel extension to kind of make the steering wheel a bit taller. Because I'm actually, the way it is, my fingers actually hit the dash when I turn the wheels sometimes. And yeah, that kind of sucks. So got to get a little bit more height out of it. As for the steering wheel, yeah, that one there just came off in a bunch of pieces pretty much. I got a few prices on a few different ones online, but I'm actually kind of thinking I might pop that one apart right there and kind of see what that's like. That one looks to be about a 13-14 inch. Or actually, no, that might even be like, yeah, probably a 13. The factory one I think was 16 or 17 or something like that, so it's pretty huge. This is the factory seat mechanism right here. So not going to be using any of that. I was thinking I could maybe use the springs out of this one here. I don't feel like unburying it, but there is a spring mechanism. Might be able to use some of that to kind of give it a little bit more spring support. As for the starter on this thing, I started up about 10 times now in the garage, and every time it seems to be fine. So let's give it a cold start for today. And of course my ignition's all loose. I guess I will give it the choke. I let it run for a while. Let it run for a bit. Might as well. Anyway, I'll show you some more updates now as I go along. So I have started that thing up over 10 times, so I'm sure by now the battery's getting low, so I might as well let it run for a bit. Sweet. Okay, so I did it. I cut the steering wheel off the snapper. Just give it a cut. Oh, I should grind that. It's a little bit sharp there. This one had the tilt steering. I was thinking, man, it'd be nice to integrate all this into that tractor, but then I started looking, not going to happen. So anyway, here's the steering mechanism. I did pull out the pin out of there, as you can see, the pin. So I got to get a new pin, or put the pin back in, because if I decide to use this, you know, it's going to be handy to have that. So it's kind of nice, this system here. I'll save this. I might decide to use this, but I might want to go for something with a quicker ratio for the racing tractor. So anyway, that's one thing I had to do. I wanted to get this off here so I don't break this. So it's in good shape. As far as I remember, it was in good shape. That is a little crack out of the corner there, but anyway, that doesn't really matter. That's pretty well hidden by the hood. Okay, so I cut it down again, even more. I just took off that chunk right there, which is about 2 inches, and I took off about 1.25 inches the first time. So I keep on cutting it down because I keep on thinking it's going to be too high. The way this is going to be about 4 inches higher than stock. So it's going to sit just like that. It's kind of hard to say how high it's going to be. So what I'm going to do now is take this sprocket hub kind of thing. I'm going to push the shaft in up to about here. So it's going to be pushed in up to about there. And then I'm going to weld right around it. So I could put it onto that shaft without welding it. So I'll have the keys. And I'm going to hope that holds it solid. Because I don't want to be welding to the main shaft on the tractor, which got kind of chewed up a little bit from removing it. So I just gave it a little bit of grind around. Anyway, I could always change that shaft if I have to. I just don't want to have to. Anyway, I'll get that all set up, put on, and not sure if you can see how it's going to sit for height. That's pretty much where the seat's going to sit. Have to move the front up, or the back up and the front up just a tiny bit because it gets pretty close to the gas cap. I got to make sure I can get the gas cap off, of course. So, because if I can't get off the gas cap, yeah, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So, sweet. Oh, some more buttons, valence. Sweet. Okay, so I got the sprocket hub on here. It pressed in pretty tight. It's in about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put a bead of weld around here now. And of course I'll have the 2 set screws to hold it on the tractor. So this will be fully removable. Don't know if any of that was in the view. Probably not by the looks of the camera. But anyway, I'm going to use my crappy ass welder right there. And I'm going to give it a shot. Now I'm using flux core wire in a MIG welder. Not a flux core welder, so gas, you know. Anyway, it's not going to look the best. And I don't actually have my proper vise handy. So yeah, I'm going to weld on top of a chunk of wood and probably catch it on fire. Sweet. Okay, I got my camera set up pretty far back on zoom. Don't know how well you guys are going to hear me, but so I'm going to just tack it, then I'm going to unhook the ground, bring it outside and cool it because I don't need this melting. So anyway, I got my protective gloves, protective gear on, and let's give it a try. See what's going to happen. Okay, gonna turn up the heat a bit. And the wire feed just a tad. And of course my MIG wand is a little bit curled up here. Let's try again. There we go, that's what I like to see. Just kind of tacking it for now. And I'm going to let it cool down. Okay, I'm going to run outside now. I'll give it a drop in snow before I start melting where it goes onto the wheel, so give me a few seconds. Okay, so I'm just finishing cooling it down a bit here. Should be good now. Okay. Give it a shot with the wire brush here. It's not ever going anywhere. Get one more cold now on a higher speed. I'm going to wire feed. I'm going to turn it up. And I wish I could get this ground cable to stay on, but it keeps on sliding off as I try to spin it. See, this doesn't want to stay worth a shit. So, anyway, one more pass, try to clean it up a bit. Oh, with the tip, not using gas. Give it a cool down. Cooking on 120, it gets, or cooking at that kind of temperature, it gets it hot quickly. Okay, let's give her a quick cooling and let's give it a shot. I'm not using the gas shield this time. Try to get maximum heat on it. And of course, we're driving down the back lane. Clean enough for my liking, so let's give it a try. My mask is starting to fog up, god damn it. Gotta let it cool down or I'm going to blow the breaker. Try again. Cool down for a second. Let it cool down for a second. And there goes breaker. Good enough. I'm done. Give her a shot with the wire brush and then I'll show you my chicken scratch mess. Sweet. Okay, let her cool for a few seconds. You can see chicken scratch kind of welds there, but it's going to hold. It's never going anywhere, so, and it's in there enough. Now I'm going to give that a quick grind, paint, and install it. Sweet. Okay, so I just gave her a quick coat with this shit right here. Sweet paint. Kind of old stock. Anyway, it doesn't look too bad. I know it's not going to show up because the paint's still a bit wet, but anyway, time to install it. Try to get it close up there. Doesn't look too bad. I never bothered grinding it down. I was going to, but I just kind of gave it a wire brush and painted her up. Anyway, you can see there, that's, I'm guessing about, it will end up being maybe a 6-inch extension, so should be perfect, I'm hoping. Actually, that's kind of like 4 inch, 5 inches, whatever. I can measure it later, not too big of a deal. Time to install it. And of course, all I got to do is back out my 2 pins, shove it on there, put on the pins, and see how tight it is. If it ends up being loose, I don't know. I'll have to figure it out then. Sweet. Okay, so I got my Woodruff key filed down a tiny little bit. Just did it with the air grinder. Got my jack underneath the steering stem with a block of wood holding it up. Well, I guess you kind of can see it right in there, block of wood. That's just so I can hammer a little bit of force on this without the shaft getting pushed down. You can see that this is all destroyed from taking off the steering wheel. This rubber isolator cap. Even where the C-clip goes in is pretty well, C-clip's pretty worn out, but this will hold it on with this, you know, should be good. So anyway, time for the fun part of trying to line this up. Sweet. Okay, so the giant, or not giant, but the very tall steering wheel is on. You can see that's after I cut it down 6 inches or so. For the actual height, you'll see right there. It's only about, well, the old one would have went right up to the hood here. The old one was enough that when I turned the wheel, my hands would hit the hood if I had my hands hanging down. So, got a little bit of play in the steering, as you can see there. Got to get to changing the tie rod ends or whatever it is sooner or later. The seat is not bolted, it's just sitting in place. It's actually going to be raised up about, in the front, or the front about an inch, back probably about 2 inches. So, because right now I sit on it and I just bottom it right out because, you know, I'm a pretty big guy, you know, pretty fat. So, anyway, that's the way I'm going to leave it for today. Now, I ended up having to weld it onto the shaft here because I could not get it on where I liked it. So, You kind of see my ugly looking welds down there to the bottom of the shaft. So yes, it pulls up. So I got to put a spacer, I got to move this bushing here, slides down, and I got to get a spacer in between here. I'm just going to use kind of like a hose clamp. I know it's kind of redneck, but you'll see once I'm done, just to kind of take up the space. Now, I was planning on putting this in line, but I realized there's no way for me to do this without removing the steering wheel. And I just could not get that pin out of there without damaging the steering wheel. So, the way it is right now, there's no damage done to the actual tractor itself. The shaft, I can always get another 3/4 inch shaft. I looked all over eBay and they're dirt cheap. So, yeah, that would have looked a lot better, you know, right there covering it, but actually would have went from there up. So it's just I couldn't do it, could not do it. So I'll keep that as spare parts for the next tractor project. But anyway, that seat is going to look a lot better. Now from the factory they left quite a bit of this foam hanging here, so I got to do a little bit more trimming. Otherwise it'll kind of give it the wick effect, I guess, and it would soak up a bit of water. Not too sure yet. So anyway, that's why I'm going to leave it for today. Kind of see right there. You see how the steering, to me the steering wheel does not feel too tall whatsoever. But let me know what you guys think, so sweet. Okay, so I got a guy coming from Kijiji to buy the snowblower that is right there. They've been sitting there since the snow fell. And behind it I got a 16 horsepower engine. So I'm going to try to snag the 16 horsepower out of the snowbank while I'm at it. Selling an Iron Horse engine in the Briggs & Stratton Model 23. The reason why I'm selling that stuff is to put the money into that thing. And that's him texting me right now, because we're setting up a time for him to come see it. But I want to drag it out of the snowbank and let some snow melt first. So, well, it kind of sucks that I'm getting rid of this. I had plans to install that sucker on it. 16 horsepower, single cylinder Briggs. So this one here is the 3-stage, or twin stage. I don't know if that center auger is on a separate shaft or not. Yeah, actually it is. You can see the 3 separate bearings. So anyway, I told the guy I'd drag it in the garage and let some snow melt off it. So you can take a better look at it. I'm actually hoping he doesn't buy this, but hey, you never know. Sweet. Okay, snowblower's gone. Guy picked it up. Starting to do some barbecue. Going to barbecue up some deer steak for supper. Yummy deer steak. So anyway, snowblower's gone. Got a little bit of spare cash in my hands. Now time to go buy some parts for the tractor. Sweet. Yummy. Holy, they look good this time. Sweet. And I just opened the door to let out the smoke, and that's a nice dirt pile, hey? And look at it, just from the cold air. Look how they're coming along. Oh, yummy. Gotta flip them in a few seconds. Just put a thin layer of barbecue sauce on them. Sweet. And there we go. They are done. So, normally I go a little bit longer, but I am out of propane. Sweet. And of course, if you didn't tell, I like them extra well done. Sweet. Okay, so I just got back from Princess Auto. We picked up a new charger. So it's 12 amp. Also does 8 in 2. So I'm just charging up the battery on the tractor here. 15.5 it's charging at, but it's only holding I think 12.6. And it seems like it doesn't want to go over 94, 95. This is actually the second run that I'm giving it. So the battery is pretty well toasted. It is from 2009. As you can see, I bought a new seat for it. Got that mounted up. I will maybe insert some videos about that. I added a steering wheel extension here. Just kind of crappy-fied mounted in there. And a smaller steering wheel off the snapper. So I got to extend the shifter. I want to just extend it about 4 inches. I still got to work on the throttle control. But anyway, the seat here is just a bolt-on type. Like that. I got a lot of washers there. Seems to be fine. When I'm sitting on it, I still got about a 1/4 inch of, before it touches the metal plate, about an inch of travel. If I lean to the side, it hits the gas cap, so I might have to move the seat up forward a little tiny bit. But I like being able to stretch out my legs, you know what I mean. Picked up a few other cool things at Princess Auto. I picked up a bunch of parts for the racing tractor here. So these are 1-inch block bearings. You can see that style right there. I picked up 5 of them. 3 for the rear end and 2 for the jack shaft. I picked up a little fire kettle. So I'm not going to really pull this out of the box, but it was, that's what it looks like right there. Good for when I do some hiking and camping. Regular price $15, which even at $15 I thought it was pretty decent. Got it on sale for like $7. Got myself some lubrication. I got to grease up the quad. Got myself a nice fluffy hat. This was $11. So it's going to be something a little bit warmer for riding on the quad. Got myself a new grease gun. Right there. It was regular $30 on sale for $15. Got myself a new tarp, so I can actually put a tarp on top of, you know, the tractor outside or a quad. It's a 6x8, so should be good enough, I'm hoping. And I got myself a broom for sweeping off the workbench. That was like $2.99. So, and yeah, that's just my new hoard pile that I picked up. Today is Saturday. The rest of the videos you've seen was most likely taken on Friday, unless I screwed up editing. I'm just about to go to the gun range. Got 2 of my 22s sitting there. The one in this case is the semi-automatic Remington Rem 597. Believe it or not, I was one of the first people in the city to even get one. And I haven't shot it in 3-4 years. So I'm going to go give it a shot. I'm also bringing out my SIG handgun in 9mm. So I'm just going through it. So never actually really had too much practice with that sucker. I owned over 100 handguns. Yes, no joke, over 100 handguns. But this is the first modern one. All my other ones were antiques. You can actually look back in my YouTube video stash. Go search oldest to newest and you'll see I made quite a few videos about them. Warning, they are quite boring because I don't talk much in the videos back then. So I'm going to go to the gun range. I'm going to do some target shooting. As for this battery charger, it was regular $89 on sale for $69, which isn't too bad of a deal. I have seen them a little bit cheaper online, but hey, got it local, and seems to be good because we always have booster batteries and stuff that needs to be charged. I'm hoping that on a 2-amp charge I can bring a little bit more life into that battery. Even though after using it now for quite some time, it seems to charge pretty decent, or start up pretty decent in the cold. Now I can actually sit with my knees here, and my knees used to hit the steering wheel. I had to spread my legs pretty much to ride it. Right now, my legs are about 3 inches away from the steering wheel, so it's perfect the way it's mounted.
So it's a full sight on here.
Yep. Yeah, son of a bitch in you. Don't shoot fast, just shoot normally. Shoot at the other target, show how bad you're missing. You're shooting to the right, like huge. She's empty. Okay, now keep it facing forward and let's leave it there now. Yeah. Not bad for your first time shooting, I guess.
That's the first time I ever picked up that gun, so. You know, actually how bad I really am. I had more than 10 in the face than I did the target.
Hey, it still looks probably about as good as my first time.
Actually, it's not bad. It's 3 groups.
Yeah, but look at your first time, right?
That was the first one.
And then your second time.
This is the second time.
And then the next time you'll be even better, so.
Probably.
Sweet. Having fun trying to figure out how to reload. You're actually doing it right? You figured it out?
I'll save it load the Magnum one. What's the difference?
Yeah, that's true. Good, you're loading it so I can shoot it.
What?
You're loading it so I can shoot it. Good. I'll get you the son of a bitch, me. Got my earphones back on. Okay, here, son of a bitch. Oh, I guess I need a new target. Oh, man. I'm shaky like a leaf today. Freaking too much caffeine. I shouldn't have drank those espressos. Yeah, note to self, don't drink espressos before I come in.
I don't like the way it tastes on my
Okay. Hey, you're meant to son of a bitch me. What are you doing?
Oh, I thought you were going to let me shoot money in.
No, you're going to son of a bitch me. Come on. My Christmas present, you can son of a bitch me.
The old man can still shoot you.
Okay, this is the zoom.
Yeah.
And just hold it pretty much. Good enough.
Or,
You got your earplugs on? Go.
how do you do?
With the top button right there. Just don't worry about it. Okay, you ready?
Oh, okay.
Just back up more. Back up more.
Go ahead.
Back up
I need
more.
to lean on that.
No, you don't need to lean. You have to be up behind that red line, Dad. Yes.
Well, hang on. I can't son of a bitch you because I can't see the target.
Oh man, I'm shaking like a leaf today. Why is the target swinging?
No, it's not me shaking, it's the target.
Okay, give me that camera. Oh, oh you could have. What? You were really zoomed in that far? Huh? Yeah, but when you really think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where did the other ones go?
I thought you hit here one.
No, I think they were hitting here. But that's right at the very far end of the thing. Now I'm going to grab me another target. Anyone else in here? No.
Well,
This time don't zoom in. Just leave it zoomed out.
yeah, whatever. Stop the 10.
No, I'm going to go slow. That's about
Do that, that's good enough.
good enough. Okay, ready?
Yes.
You're good?
Yeah, son of a bitch.
Don't stop. Don't put pinky in between magazine and gun. That hurts.
Yeah.
Man, that freaking air thing is annoying how it moves. Swinging targets. Okay. Yeah, there has to be a way to stop that target from dancing. I'm not sure if that's showing up.
You shut those back.
No, you have to leave them running, the guy said. Whatever. I think I did. I take off my headphones. Ugh.
3, 6, 7, 8 shots under her.
Yeah, and the other two, I think, hit the edge of the paper. Take a while to get used to that one, that's for sure. Anyway, take a while to get used to that one, so. Anyway, that's the end of it. We're done? Done for today?
Yep.
Or do you want to shoot a few more?
I got to reload my guns.
Don't want to lose those. I'm going to reload those suckers. So, okay, so it's now Sunday. I didn't really do much yesterday. I know it's going to be a boring video. Went to the range, let off about 200 rounds of 9mm. I'm going to be starting up the Polaris quad because I want to get it out of the garage. Got to grease it up. Got some grease there. Hasn't ran now since I brought it in the garage. So probably a month, I don't know. And did I even grab the right key? Oops. Oh, I did. Full choke. It's in park. Oh, that's actually not bad. Yeah, I guess I should have left the choke on a lot longer. That started up way too easy. Anyway, I'm going to pull it out, going to do some grease on it, clean the air filter. I'm probably going to reinstall my back bin right there on it, and get it ready to go back out to the country. Sweet. Okay, so I have her up on the jack stands. That tire there is actually pretty much flat. It's actually on the jack, not jack stand, but yeah, that tire's flat. I checked both wheel bearings. They both have a little bit of play. But again, that's to be expected with a machine that has 286 hours, which is pretty low. But that's how many miles is on this machine. So almost 5,000 miles. So yeah, that's actually pretty decent. I'll stick the camera up on a tripod and I'll try to show you guys how much play it has. I already had to do one front wheel bearing on this tire right here, and I actually made a video about that. But I'm just checking all my control arms, not control arms, but yeah, control arms, I guess, yeah. All the joints and everything. I'm going to be greasing it up, checking all my CB boots, pretty much getting it ready to kick it back out to the bush for another year or so. Just kind of make a little bit of an update video as we go along. You can see my rims took a fair bit of beatings. So, and that one tire on that side has a nail in it, has to. I'm going to try to find it because it doesn't hold air much more than a week right now, where it used to actually hold air for quite some time. So I'll have to put her in neutral. Should be neutral. Reverse. Neutral. There we go. Right there could be my leak somewhere in there, because that took a pretty good slice right across it. Oh yeah, right there. Have to check that with some soap and water, see if that's where it is. That would have been during hunting season. I don't see any nails in it, nothing obvious anyway. So I'll have to check that with some soap and water. If that's the case, I'm getting rid of these tires. That's where it's leaking, because that's yeah, it's not that good looking. Actually, could even be right there. Ooh, that exhaust is still pretty damn hot. Anyone that cares about this exhaust, I made a complete separate video about it. Can't even see in there. Grab my little light. I modified this exhaust. This is not stock. It used to actually exit down under here. So, modified it. I do got an exhaust leak that I'm going to be fixing. It's right where the header comes out of the engine, so maybe I'll pull it apart today and then order the parts. It's just an exhaust donut, nothing major. But anyway, start by filling up that tire, trying to find where the leak is, and go from there. No, this big gash here is not the leak. So there's nothing leaking in there, no bubbles. That is kind of weird. Oh, did I see a bubble there? No, if it's even the smallest leak, you'd see it. I also gave it a spray here where there's a little bit of a hole, kind of forming there. Nothing there. I don't see anywhere else that it, could be leaking from. Must be from the bead. So, guess I'll have to check my bead, see what I can find. Man, this tire is so worn out. It is due to be changed. So, I'm sure you can see there's like virtually no tread left on there. It would be good for one more summer, but for the winter I didn't really, trust it. So I don't know if it could be a bead leak, but I will check that. Sweet. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to be pulling off the entire tire here. I'm going to be checking out my brakes. So, get this done with. Never had this tire rim even off yet, so. And I might need a longer socket. Nope, that one should be good. My brake pads actually look pretty good. Yeah, it looks like I don't barely use my brakes, so yeah, there's no I guess there's a little bit of a ridge on the center there, but it's not too bad. It's enough that I'm probably not going to bother changing them. So, a little bit of a ridge there, I can kind of feel it, but it's nothing that I'm worried about. As for brake pads, you can see there's actually quite a bit still left. I think I hear that tire leaking. It's either that or it's from the air compressor itself. So anyway, going to check out, make sure I got no play anywhere. I'm going to check for any major damage. Sway bar bushings, I don't really care too much about them, but they all look good. Shock's not leaking. Give her a good grease job. Check out my shafts, CV shafts, make sure they're in good shape. I'll double check that my rear brake's working, of course. The pedal's up a little bit higher, but that's because I bent a plate that stops it from going too high. So maybe I'll pop that in the video later on. So anyway, now I'm going to grease up this side and set up my grease gun. That's always fun. And my drink of choice today. So this is mixed 50-50 with Pepsi. So 15% normally, so it's, you know, half that. So pretty good stuff. So, and you know, peanuts, of course. Can't work without the peanuts. Okay, so I got a little bit of play in my bottom control arm bushings. Of course, they're the ones that cannot be greased. Not sure how well that's showing up. I know you probably can't see it. You almost have to look right there. Try to get in a little bit better with the camera here. There we go. There, now you can see it. The other side's the exact same. Of course, it's the ones that cannot be greased that are giving that little bit of play. But again, that much play is not even worth looking at because it's, in my opinion, will last quite a bit longer before I have to worry about it. So probably go another 2,000 miles with that. So, and of course I'm getting a text message, so I'll finish saying what I'm going to say after another peanut and drink break. Huh, that might be an interesting deal. A guy has a 64 BSA 250, two-stroke single, I believe they are. But don't really have time to do any side jobs right now. I got too much I have to do on my own. Yes, I normally do side jobs, stuff like that. But right now, I don't have time to do it. And I actually haven't worked on one of those motors ever, as far as I know. Or can remember anyway. But anyway, back to doing this. Those control arm bushings on the bottom, I'm going to leave them. I'm going to grease it up and just kind of check over everything else. And man, is there a lot of crap stuck in here. Oh, look at this, man. Holy. The reason why I'm moving that dirt is just so I can double check that there's no cracking. Because yes, I did jump this thing a couple times. By the looks of it, I smoked a few things on there. It's not bent, but anyway, let you guys know how the other side looks. Because for this one, for now, I'm just going to grease it, toss it back together. Look at that shitty ass pig iron right there, man. Look at that little hairline crack, and it's not even tight yet, and it is not cross-threaded. Like, holy crap, that is a piece of crap right there. So, yeah, I can actually, I'm turning it by hand. So that's proof that it wasn't tight yet. Well, got it turned a little bit by hand, but I'll have to put a wrench on it. But holy crap, pig iron piece of crap, hey? Sweet. Yeah, I know I never finished videotaping it, but basically I just pulled off the other wheel, gave it a grease, gave the front end a grease, and that's pretty much it. So I never did the air filter yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow. It's already almost 8 o'clock or past 8 o'clock on Sunday. So this is going to be the end of the week, boring weekend videos. So still got to try to track down where that leak is on that one tire. Took a quick squirt with soap and water pretty much, and actually didn't see any leak anywhere. I checked the valve stem too, so could just be such a slow leak, hard to say. Somewhat attempted to clean up my workbench, as you can see, nice and clean, right? Wink wink. Anyway, got the crank, the cam, everything sitting on this engine. Just have to get time to actually bring it all the parts, quickly steam clean them. Then I'll go through it, double check that everything's good, and start reassembling. But it's most likely not going to be for about a week or two. Got a few other projects that I gotta finish up. Anyone know this style flywheel here? Or not, well, there's a flywheel right there. But that style flywheel with this, how many RPM will it stand? Like, how many RPM do you think is good for? Because I'm thinking to run the governor or not to run it. Also, it has that add-on fan, which I might not run. Not too sure yet. Let me know what you guys think about that. I never did any research whatsoever online about it yet. So, if you think it'll handle, say, 4,000 RPM, I'll just adjust our governor to 4,000 RPM. If you think I'll handle more, then I'll probably just remove the governor assembly altogether and just fill in the pin where the governor goes through there. So, anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this random weekend video, and hopefully I'll get up another video before next weekend. So, not much going on right now. So, anyway, one more thing I thought I'd do before I quit for today. I'm just interested to know how bad it sags when I sit on the seat. So, back in here, the keyboard. Okay. Anyway, sitting normally, it's about like this. If I lean back hard, it bottoms out, but normally it's pretty decent. As for the gas cap here, I can still fit my hand through here, so it's not quite rubbing yet. Now, if I lean over a little bit, it will hit. So, even when I get off like that, I can feel that it does hit the cap of the gas cap. So, I'm not too sure about the clearance issue here, how long that's, I don't know. Might end up breaking the gas tank. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but anyway, I'll leave it for a bit and see what happens. Sweet. And back to my TV show.